Okay, this video is a weekly testimony for the week of August. When the week start?
When did the week start? It's August 22nd right now.
Yeah, so the week started.
Bad with.
Let's see.
Calendar.
Dramatic much. We started, kind of like the 15th.
15th is last Friday.
15th, 16th. I don't remember anything that happened on Friday. So probably start with Saturday. Saturday this week was a good day, really full day.
Very busy.
Yeah. Early morning, went out to my parents' place. Got to talk with my dad. Spent some time talking to some of the siblings. Didn't get to see all of them, which it's always nice. And then
Hard to get them all at the same place.
Yeah, and then we went to my older brother Keenan's house, which was good. Got to talk to him a little bit. And then we headed out further to Vegreville to have lunch with some friends of ours, which was maybe a bit of an overextension on our part. I think we had a pretty busy day already.
It's always good to see our friends in Vegreville, though, to keep connected with them.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it was too much, but.
Yeah. And we roped my older brother Keenan to come with us, which was cool.
Always good to get him out of the house, do something else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so after lunch in Vegreville, we kind of were rushing back home. We had our Bible study group that meets once a week. We've been trying to do an outreach event every month. And so this Saturday was one of those outreach events. For this Saturday, we did a community barbecue. And so what that looked like is we booked a little fire pit in the park here in Sherwood Park. And we had everyone from the Bible study come out. We brought lots of hot dogs, chips, drinks, firewood, everything else.
Yeah, so my walking group, I run a walking group, and so I planned a walk right before the barbecue, and 2 ladies came out, which I've never met before, which was kind of sweet, and then our friend Jonathan came as well. Walked around the park for about 45 minutes, had great conversations with the ladies. One of the ladies was telling me that she wants to get back into going to church and get back into finding the Lord again. And so she's just talking about like what that would look like, because she hasn't been to church since her kids grew up and left home, and all of her kids have kids now too, so it's been a while for her. So trying to encourage her to find a church, and she's also been talking a lot about coming to our Bible study too and bringing a friend, which is kind of encouraging too. So see if that goes anywhere. So yeah, then the walking group led up to the barbecue, and they stayed for like almost 2 hours, which was cool. They had good conversations with everyone in our group, and it was a good time.
We headed back from Vegreville around 2, and so then Rachel started prepping food and stuff for the barbecue. And then I went right to street preaching. I was really worried I was going to be late, but I actually made it there like a minute before anyone else, so I was pretty happy
about Jesus that. Right there.
Yeah, no, it was good, and it was a really good Saturday street preaching. The Saturday that I street preached before, was kind of dull. I didn't have any good conversations. Kind of a lot of people pushed me off. I didn't feel like it was a very like productive Saturday. At least like no fruit that I saw really came from that. And I was kind of discouraged by that, and I prayed. I think it was on Friday that I prayed, and I was like, Lord, like if street preaching is something you still want me to do, like I wanna see more out of it. Like I wanna see like good conversations and like people interested in you and actually be able to share the gospel. And this Saturday was phenomenal. I had a lot of really good conversations with a number of people. I talked to at one point I was handing out tracts, and there was this Chinese lady, and I tried to hand her a tract, and she pushed it away, and I was like, oh, that's okay. And so then I kind of was going to hand it to someone else, and then she grabbed my arm and she pulled me back, and she started trying to explain to me why she had turned it away. And it led to a really long conversation. How street preaching kind of works is like I'm standing at a crosswalk and waiting for the light, and so it is a longer light, maybe like 2 minute light. So usually you don't have a conversation longer than 2 minutes, but this conversation went through probably like 4 or 5 lights, so it was close to a 15, maybe 20 minute conversation. Um,
It's
yeah,
longer than you get from most.
no,
Yeah.
no, it was really cool, and yeah, I got to hear a lot of like kind of where she came from. And it was a bit of a difficult conversation because she kind of knew things about the Bible, and she was like very firm on like the things that she knew, but she also claimed that she doesn't read the Bible, and so the parts that I knew about the Bible that were maybe slightly contradictory to what she believed, her response is like, "Oh, well, I don't read the Bible," but then she would bring up like one or two things in the Bible to kind of back up what she believed. But it was really cool. Like she believes in a creator, she believes in God, um, but and she believes that God is coming back. She just doesn't think that Jesus is that God.
Mm.
And yeah, so that was interesting. And we kind of tried to talk through that, and she was a little bit stubborn. And I kind of mentioned like salvation coming through Jesus and what that looks like. And her response to that was that that's too easy. Um, that she doesn't think that it's fair that like there's bad people that can just believe in Jesus and be saved. And
So sad.
well, that's tough too because the reality is we're all bad people. and um, and so she was kind of more on the side that she thinks that people can get into heaven, but it's good people that are going to get into heaven. And so yeah, I didn't catch her name, but yeah, definitely pray for her and maybe pray for
Lord knows your name.
yeah more
Yeah.
conversations. Um, right at the beginning of street preaching, I think like the first conversation I had was with this guy named Saeed, if I'm pronouncing that correctly or remembering it correctly. And that was really cool. I didn't really talk too much about Jesus. I like just shook his hand and we just kind of started talking. And I think he was like a little bit like I think he kind of knew that I was a street preacher. And then as we started talking, he just like started smiling more. And then I kind of told him like, oh, like I'm here trying to like tell people the good news. And he kind of just looked at me and he's like, man, you're a good street preacher. And I was like, oh, like what do you mean by that? And he's like, I've had a lot of terrible experiences with street preachers, especially on this corner.
Mm.
And he's Muslim, and so he said that whenever he mentions that he's Muslim, that typically like he's met with like a lot of anger and a lot of hostility, and it's usually very like what's the word? It's very like, oh my,
Condemning?
no, not
No.
condemning, just discouraging for him to like kind of talk to Christians. But no, he just seemed like so pleased, and he's like, oh, like you're such a nice guy,
Mm.
and I thought that was like I thought that was really cool. A conversation that maybe didn't like lead somewhere, like towards him repenting or like coming to the Lord, but a conversation where like his view of Jesus and his view of Christians has maybe slightly changed toward,
It's encouraged a bit more
yeah,
than normal.
seeing the love of Jesus in people, and so that was really cool. Um, yeah, lots of other crazy things happened. I think one of the biggest things to mention is this guy named Andrew, who he was walking the other way across the crosswalk, and typically those people just walk right past you. You don't really get an opportunity to talk to them at all. And I did get an opportunity to talk to him, and I kind of said that I was out here sharing the good news, and turns out he is a believer. He had grown up in the church most of his life, but just in the last year, had started taking things more seriously.
Mm.
And so he thanked me for being out there preaching, and he said that he was like so encouraged that we were doing that, and that we need more people to be out there sharing the gospel, which was awesome to hear. And then he opened up a lot about like what was going on in his life, and turns out he suffering with a lot of addictions to like alcohol, drugs, and really has a lot of weight over his life, and but also really encouraging that he kind of understood the gospel, he understood Jesus dying for him, and he understood this process of sanctification, that he wanted to be more like Jesus. He wanted a change in his life, and he's working on that.
Mm.
And he was saying that he was just swimming in West Ed, and he drank he had 2 drinks while he was in West Ed, and he was saying that he knew like the Lord was upset with him for that, like
Conviction.
yeah,
Oof.
that the Lord didn't want that for him. And so he was kind of beating himself up about that. And then afterwards, all of his buddies were like, "Oh, like come, let's go here and get shot up and do drugs." And he turned away, and I was like, "No, like I'm gonna go home. Like I can't do that."
Mm.
And so yeah, definitely some victory there that evening. Was super cool to hear him kind of sharing a bit about himself, and sharing about like the struggles. Sharing like he said, like when he sleeps, like he hears screaming.
Mm.
And he's like under a lot of attack. And no, I got to pray with him and for him, which was awesome. And then after, he asked if he could pray with me, which was even better. I think that's the best, is like when you're street preaching and somebody's like asks if they can pray for you. I feel like that's like the coolest thing that can happen. And so Andrew prayed for me, which was super duper cool. Yeah, and then I was able to preach this Saturday. I preached for almost 17 minutes.
Record-breaking minutes.
Which is the longest I've ever street preached for. I went consistently. I didn't stop like at all. Normally I'm a little bit more timid when I preach, but I just felt like super confident for whatever reason.
Holy Spirit right there.
And yeah, like I just went. And I didn't feel distracted. I didn't feel worried. I kind of had planned out like scripture that I wanted to read, and I like ran through it and I spoke, and it went really well. And then when I was done preaching, one of the guys that's been coming out, he came up to me, and he was like, "Dude, that was like some of the best preaching I'd ever heard." And it started off as a compliment, and then he said something like, he's like compared to like the first time you preached, like night and day difference. And so it was like kind of ended as like a mild insult. It was pretty funny.
Now he's just showing you how you've grown. You've grown a lot.
But it was really encouraging. A super cool Saturday. I didn't get a clip filmed of me preaching, so there won't be any clip posted on the channel from this Saturday. But hopefully Saturdays in the future we can post.
Yeah, try to get more videos of that.
Yeah.
That side of our lives.
No, other than that, there were a few other things maybe worth mentioning at street preaching. Right when we started, we had a lady like hawk a milkshake at us. It was actually before we started. We hadn't even like put signs up or anything, and yell some hurtful things at us. And I think that was it was like really cool. Because that was like the only persecution we like faced that day, was like right at the beginning. Like the enemy was out, trying to discourage us, and there was like another person that yelled in the first like maybe 2 minutes, and then after that, like the Lord just like completely protected us. We had security guards walk past us, we also had police walk past us and drive past us, and so no one asked us to stop, nobody asked us to move.
Very good.
Which is great. And then there was this guy, Brandon, if I remember correctly. It was his second time preaching or out this Saturday. He didn't preach. He was just handing tracts and talking to people. And I got to talk to him a little bit, kind of like in the times there weren't many people. And he was saying how like this is his second time out, and how he's like really struggling with like the coming out. But once he's there, he just feels like filled with the Spirit, and he just feels like so called to be there and to talk to people. And I thought that was like a super encouraging conversation, that like the Lord is calling more people to go and share the gospel. And he seemed to do great. There were a few conversations that I kind of overheard, and he seemed to be doing like awesome, having some good conversations with people. Yeah. No, so that's everything on the street preaching side. So I showed up late to the barbecue because I came from street preaching to the barbecue, and I was probably not quite 20 minutes late.
You showed like a little after Sean Charmaine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on the barbecue?
It went very well. Everyone seemed very happy. Like everyone was, like some of the people there didn't even know that picnic shelter existed. They're like, oh man, like this would be a great place to have like kids' birthday parties next week, and like, it's just kind of like a little hidden gem. But yeah, there wasn't a ton of people that showed up. We tried to invite some people from the park, but there wasn't really a ton of people there, or like people who weren't there who were already like at birthday parties like across the park. But yeah, but like everyone that we had there was great. We invited a bunch of people who didn't come, which was a little sad, but it's okay. Somewhere people are busy, I guess. But for those who were there, it was very encouraging, very cool to see everyone who came out, and yeah, we tried it, and it was a success, and that's something that works, and we know we can do that again sometime in some capacity.
Yeah. No, I was quite shocked that the park was as empty as it was. I thought
Saturday night in the middle of August.
I thought Saturday evening, and the weather was fantastic.
It was
like really nice weather.
The Lord really blessed that day with gorgeous weather because like the whole week before it was pouring rain, windy. Even that morning it wasn't amazing, but then the clouds cleared, sun was shining, like it was almost like too warm. It was so gorgeous out.
It was a really nice day.
It was perfect.
And yeah, so I think I was a little shocked by like not having as many people there. So it was a little bit less outreachy than I'd hope. But it was also cool having like some people from the walking group that stayed for like the whole time.
Yeah.
And it seemed like there were some really good conversations that did come from that, which is super cool. And so we'll see like if anything more comes from that. And we hope so.
Yeah, exactly.
So,